Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another video. This time is the SH Figuarts Ant-Man from Avengers Endgame. So let's get started. If you have the previous Ant-Man from Ant-Man and Wasp, this one only makes minor improvements on it, but we're gonna go over it. We're gonna try to cover this really quickly, and I'm still gonna try to cover all bases in case you didn't watch the previous review from me or anyone else. So first things first, I want to talk about the major change to this figure, and that is it being that it comes with an unmasked Paul Rudd head, which is really cool because it's one of those things that more and more we ask for unmasked heads and we go through third parties. So it's cool to see this stuff really included nowadays, and it looks really good. Looking up close and personal on it, there is a minor gripe I would say, because I don't know if it's gonna pick up here, but the face scan tech shows there are dots here around the mouth area, but here it actually looks really great photographing him without any issue on my camera. Now, someone said to me that it looks a little too smooth, like it's just too much, a little too cartoony. But overall, I think it picks up really well on camera enough that it kind of works for what we want. I think he should have had a 5 o'clock shadow, but that's me personally. And because I don't know how to paint, I'm gonna stay away from that. Probably get somebody else to do it. But in terms of everything else, I think they really nailed the design here, especially the compartmenting of the helmet as it folds back towards the neck. And for those of you that want to pop it on to different pieces, you can actually take the head off the neck peg, and here is the neck peg here to show you what's going on with it. And I think personally it looks good. Could it be better? Obviously, yes. But for something that's mass produced, I think we have something that's really good on our hands. And I like that a lot. One of the things about the neck canopy and the way it is, it makes it look like his neck is actually really short, but it's not. So in terms of range for the unmasked head, you can look down, you can look up, you can tilt left and right. It really doesn't limit the figure. It just makes it look like he doesn't have a neck, but it's there. In terms of the rest of articulation, you actually can, he has a really good butterfly joint that allows it to come out. And with that, you get a lot of extra range going in here that allows you to do what you want to do with Ant-Man, like crushing your arms, protecting yourself, diving, rotating, Wakanda forever if you really wanted it to. Then you also get a bicep swivel, which mine is really tight in the arms, so I'm going to loosen that up a bit. There we are. Then we have the double jointed arms. We have your standard ball joints for your SHF. And we have that the shoulders are actually on the arms, one of my favorite things, because you can do stuff like this and allows it for maximum rotation. Now, with that, his ab crunch area is actually phenomenal. As you can see, it can rotate really far forward, really crazy far back. It can tilt left and right with no issue, and it can tilt side to side. So you actually can get a lot of range of motion out of him. The legs use the old school drop down method with a thigh swivel cut that can cut up and allows the maximum range to get a 90-degree angle, but the legs are double jointed. You have generous ankle pivot, even though it's hindered a little bit by the gauntlet flaps on the leg, but I don't think that's too much of an issue. But if you wanted to pose up your Ant-Man, get really kind of crazy with him, the only thing that's really going to limit you is that neck area on your Ant-Man, because, like I said, it's going to hinder it a bit, making it look like he has no neck. Meanwhile, you can crouch down with no issue. So if you want to defend yourself or make it look like he's doing some sort of crazy pose, yep, and there we have it. So I bent it a little too far, but it did not break. And that's just me always doing it, trying to extend it to as far as possible. But as you can see here, no real issues. So running poses look great. Diving poses are going to look great. Dodging things, the Paul Rudd way. So you actually get a lot of motion and range here that makes it look like you can pretty much get your Spider-Man on as far as articulation. The unmasked head is a very, very nice touch. One of the things that they added on here that I really enjoyed, and I'm going to get into that in a second, is the fact that even on the helmet, they actually added the eyes and the face there. So let's get you in a boxing stance. Let's get you in your little southpaw. So real quick, he looks really good. Up in a nice boxing stance. Let's flatten those feet a bit. Voila. Now, one of the things I want to talk about is you actually get an alternative head, which is this unmasked head. Now, what's really cool about this, and it's going to be hard to capture, see me so I can zoom in. Oh, yeah. You can actually see his eyes there, which is really nice. It's a great touch. Whereas on the previous Ant-Man from Ant-Man and Wasp, we do not have that. It's actually just blank there. So it's one of the things that's been added that add that little extra oomph to it that I really, really enjoy. And it's just a matter of popping off the neck and the head and popping it in. Let me somehow unshrink this. There we go. I know how to zoom in, but not how to zoom out. Poor me. Um, Ant-Man comes with the same things he previously did, so there's no extra accessories outside of the head and the new detail. You still get open palm hands, and you still get hands to hold Anthony or Antonio Banderas on your ant. Oops, drop that. Or other items. Let's say you even wanted to hold a sword or a pipe or anything like that. You can now do that as well. Or even a Pez dispenser. You never know what you're going to do. Now, in terms of height, we're going to do a size comparison of him with a bunch of other lines. But first, I want to compare him to his previous counterparts so you can see what's up with him and see how he stacks up, even if they made him a little shorter. Because if you notice, like with Obi-Wan, he's gotten shorter over every rendition they do of him. So I just want to make sure he's around the same height, if not the same, as we go along. One thing I do want to also say, the red is way more vibrant on the new release than it is for the Ant-Man and Wasp one. So definitely a slight upgrade to the suit as well in terms of color. Way more vibrant, way more red. And here we have with his Civil War counterpart, which seems to be a tad bit taller. As you know, the helmet's a little different. So he's the same size with these two across. This red is much more bright, way better. You get the unmasked head, and you also get the head with the eyes in it, which is very nice. So you kind of know what you're getting. For those of you that waited out, you kind of won here. But getting your hands on him may be a difficulty. Everybody's hyped for like the Endgame stuff. Here he is next to Wasp, just in case you want to see what it looks like next to Wasp. And as you can see, they're around the same height, looking very nice. Here he is next to War Machine Mark IV. Make sure I have him standing up straight. Here he is next to Black Widow from Endgame. She seems to be the tiniest of them all. Next up, Paul Rudd against Thor. So we have him stack up with these guys. So let's do the big three. Let's do the Thor, let's do the Iron Man, let's do the Cap. So next to these guys, he actually doesn't look too bad. I think his height-wise, he looks really good. You know. And again, guys, no spoilers, no spoilers. So yeah, even though he's a little bit smaller, I think he actually works out pretty well against these guys. Height-wise, because he's Ant-Man. And one of the really cool things about having an Ant-Man figure, and I've always thought about this, is no matter what size you have him at or what you do scale-wise, it doesn't matter because Ant-Man can adjust his size. So that's one of the cool things. So he's never really out of scale. At least not to me, in my opinion. Here he is next to a Marvel Legends Spider-Man. A 1,000 toy synthetic human. And synthetic human seems to have a little bit of height on him. Next up, an articulated Icons Ninja. And Kamen Rider Kuga from SHF as well. So as you can see, height-wise, Ant-Man's stacking up pretty well with the Kamen Rider stuff, so you can do your Ant and Kamen Rider crossover. I know me and Drew have done that a few times. Last but not least, I just want to throw him in there just so you can see what it's like up against him in case you didn't see the Thanos review. Here is Thanos up against Ant-Man, size-wise. And I think this definitely seems about right size-wise with them. All in all, I really enjoyed this piece. It's a great addition. You can now do some unmatched jokes with him or get your new Paul Rudd jokes on. Even swap around some stuff. Maybe put it on a suited body. It's really up to you now, isn't it? But in the meantime, guys, I hope you enjoyed. I hope you found it informative. But most of all, guys, I hope you do good, be good, drink your water. Later.